Good evening. Welcome to the live Facebook. So as you can see, I'm also in a festive mode with my Santa Claus hat, and also let me see here. This is a SMARTRobie logo in here. I do hope that some of you are already in the festive mode like I am, and of course. A little bit of announcement, there won't be any live training not until because of the holiday falling on Monday, so we won't be doing any of the live training. So we probably do it on the 2nd of January, which is a Tuesday, because many of these fall on Monday. So I do think that many of you who are listening, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday. If you are listening from abroad, give me a thumbs up, and if you are also listening from Malaysia, you can also type in I'm listening from where you are, and definitely this is one of the final, I suppose almost final, the live Facebook at least for 2023. And for those of you who have come over and supported me every Wednesday, especially the Trade VSA members, I thank you for your time and also your attention for really coming every Wednesday and listening to something that I share, that I'm very passionate about the market, and hopefully some of the so-called recommendation, trade ideas, SMARTRobie trade idea, Trade VSA 360 has made you money. I'm sure it had, because this year 2023, for the record, it has been a very good year. Some of the losses that I lost in 2022, it's starting to recover this year for 2023. So I do hope that in 2023 you recovered some of the losses made in 2022, and we will begin a new chapter, a new page for 2024. And that's why tonight the talk is on what to expect for the year 2024 in the financial market. Now this is again my best assessment in terms of what I understand, what I read, all the literature that I've gone through in the internet, and also talking to fund managers. This is my best attempt for year 2024. And of course, when we come back to the same time in around just before the Christmas, December 2024, we will review and this video itself to see how many things that I got right. Of course, some of the things I got correct for in 2024 in January. Those of you who came, don't want to blow my trumpet here. It's the same thing which I've been talking about every time when there is a negative return in the year. In the context of the US market, we would get a much better return, which also what I've been talking about. Those of you who have diversified out into the US market will be much better off from then onwards. I do hope that you have healed this little simple advice, and I do think many of you. Now, if what I'm saying here do make sense, give me a thumbs up. I'd like to see some responses in the video that this live Facebook that I'm doing. At least I know that it will bring you good tidings, I suppose, and also good luck for 2024. If you didn't have any good luck in 2023, no problem. Put that all aside in here. We will start off with year 2024 and what to expect for this 2024 expectation in here. And of course, tonight is the major factors which is driving the stock market. We also look at the major theme in the US market 2024 and the list of sectors to watch out for, and where is the next opportunity for 2024, and also a summary. All right. And of course, our Christmas, you can see I'm already in the Christmas mode. The SMARTRobie bags is available through our SMARTRobie apps. So you can get it from the marketplace for 15 ringgit 90 cent. So support us. If SMARTRobie has made you a decent return or some sort of a good return in here, support us by getting the bag and showing to your friends. Give it to your friends in here. And it's only 15.90 ringgit, and you can redeem it for 1,000 SMARTRobie credit in here. So that's on the SMARTRobie apps in here. And of course, the earlier point when we did in 2022, we were talking a lot about WACI, the embodiment of the concept of opportunity and crisis. So you can see from here, WACI is this word that you can see either if you do see to year 2024, okay, and if it's a year of crisis or if a year of growth, where is you think first? All right, type in the comment there, where do you think? Do we see a growth, or are we going to see more of a crisis, a recession, and so forth? Let me know. Type it in the comment section. I'd like to know. And also say hello, where you're listening from, and also who are you listening from, okay? And it's also good for me to know I have friends in the audience. Else it's like I don't get much of a response in here. Do appreciate that. Then that will only motivate me to give you good information like what we normally do on Wednesday night, okay? So definitely to year 2024 is the year of dragon, the Chinese year of dragon, which symbolize strong and independent figures, and for the yield of support and love. I think that's always been pretty much of the year of dragon, where we see major things being built. All right, I think 1919, the last time we had that was 2012, right? It was a boom year too, right? And who knows, 2024 may be also the similar boom year that we get so far in here. What do you think? Like, let me know on the comment section in here. It's good to know that some of you who are watching could be members of Trade VSA in here. Do say hi to me inside. I really appreciate that as much as the response I've been getting. So it's really how you look at the market, whether you see the what we call the crisis or you see growth. I hope if you are like me, you do see growth in 2024. If not, let me stay to the ends and let me present those facts and some of the research that we done here in VSA 360 that will convince you that 2024 it's actually a good year. Now in Bursa technology, we'll start off it is definitely the recovery that we see in the technology sector. Now this piece of article which came out about 2 days ago, the Bursa sector in 2022, okay, 2022 was down minus 37%. Hello James, thank you for coming, James. I do hope many of you do say hello like James in here, and it does turn a very nice smile for me to know I have a friend, someone that I'm familiar in the live Facebook in here, although I do get a fair bit of people coming too. And hello, hi Miss Wong, hi Limoy, thank you. All right, so far you can see for the technology sectors is minus 3%. All right, it's minus 3% in here. So it hasn't been in par with what we see in the US market. Of course, those of you who've been coming to our live Facebook would have noticed every Wednesday, right? The technology sector in the US has been doing very well. So with that, the UOB also end up with a note saying that the global semiconductor will surge 13.1% year on year compared to last in 2024. And we already see that already. Okay, we don't need to wait on year 2022. In November, which I've been talking about, I've been telling the members and also some of the clients, October, right, September 2023 were the bearish month. And then lo and behold, then we have November and December, which I've been sort of rattling everybody. Look, November, December is the most bullish only in the US market. For the Bursa Malaysia, like you can see, it is still struggling minus 3%. Even our KLSE is still in negative territory when it comes to year-to-date return. All right. So what are the themes that will drive technology 2024? We are talking in here again will be generative AI. The same thing. I mean, some of our Malaysian economists and also very similar to what's happening in US. They are just so-called repeating the same kind of a theme that they have in the US market. EV has become an old story. We've been talking about this almost year 2021 already, right? 5G smartphone also old story. Personal computer also old story. The only thing that is new is the generative AI. Right now, take note of this generative AI in here, which we Bursa don't really have a lot. All right. So having said that, so I don't think our Malaysian Bursa will recover at this. So you can see way back from the VSA 360, right, in terms of the technology sectors, 360 our dashboard, you can see yearly return of 14%, and pretty much of them actually were in 2017, right? 2017, 2018 we have a big fall because that was the US and China trade war. We really did suffer. 2022 we have the COVID, right? And 2022 was the, not COVID. COVID was this year, 2020, right, where they cut interest rate and technological. Year 2022 was the Russian-Ukraine war, where we see inflation. And you all remember what happened? They raised interest rate. They raised interest rate in here when they cut interest rate. So right now it's minus 0.6. But I do think positively we might end up with just 1 or 2%. But I do think year 2024 would be a return at least plus 20 over percent, 27% onwards. Okay, trust my word. So I'm making a statement in here. So a lot of the technology stocks, if you are in the area of supporting the semiconductors, which I will talk about in here, will do pretty well in here, right? So the other sectors for 2024 to watch out for is also the finance sector. But do take note, the finance sector, what we are talking about in here is just merely the overall market that we've seen. Right now, because of the recovery in the economic, and also we've seen a little bit of the major projects which are going on, usually finance will do well. Because finance basically is the barometer of the KLCI in here. So if you look from here onwards, they are looking at something like, trying to write a very nice statement, risk reward profile, bank is poised for pedestrian outing. I don't even know what the hell is that all about, right? All I know is likelihood finance is just going to be very moderating, just moving sideways, as you can see from, again, sometimes this kind of nice word is not good if you don't understand the figures behind it, and that's why I want to, bring these figures, which is important, then you can understand better. So I hope you can see this in the VSA 360 in here. You can see the finance so far yearly return. Let me just try to get this. Yeah, push this aside here. Okay, one more time. Let's try it one more time, right? Right, you can see from the figures, it is just 3% return. Right, pretty much like our KLCI return too, right? Because they are one of the biggest market cap. That's right, the biggest market cap, and overall return is only merely 23% in here. But again, a moderate 5-6% may only contribute to the overall around 6 to 8% return for the finance sectors, which means your Maybank, your public bank, your RHB bank, your Allianz bank. Those are the big one market cap is kind of return is we are getting in. Now also need to know is that our economy hasn't been doing that well. If you notice in year 2020, we spend a lot of money. You see, this thing that is what we call in orange color is deficit. All right. Now, anybody know what is deficit? Deficit very easy. Deficit means you borrow money lah. That means every time when you want to buy things, especially festive season right now, right? You got to buy this for your children. You got to buy this for your spouse. And then you don't have enough money, so you're going to take up some sort of loan in here. And also, don't forget, inflation prices has also gone up. So that means you will have to dig into more borrowings. So when you have more borrowings, that's where the word deficit comes in. All right, deficit means tak cukup. Tak cukup duit, tak cukup. Hello, Nora. Thank you for coming, Nora. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so tak cukup. So you can see the goal has always been very prudent economic management that you can see from the chart here, right? But it hasn't been prudent lah. We know that when the Muhyiddin government came in, that was on COVID. This is a COVID-19. We actually did a lot of resuscitation of the economy. You can see, let me just move to the side here, right? And then we have the debt levels even going as much as almost close to about $1 trillion right now. So deficit, we were around the minus 6%, right? But now we are targeting a minus 3%, and perhaps, if the Pakatan government is still running, we would have a positive, what we call surplus. We never have surplus. Only back in 94 and 97, then we know the global financial crisis came in, and then the market sort of crashed. I think it was 98 in here. And since then, we've been, but usually it's always the case when the government need to build a lot of infrastructure project. We've been building, since 2000 in here, and that's why you will see the continued shortfall of the budgets in here that we have, despite how best Anwar is trying to do right now in here. So when it comes to GDP growth, right, nothing spectacular. We have a good recovery in 2022. That's why the stock market went what it did. But if you look at for 2024 and 2023, which is around the so-called 4%, okay, 4% to 5.5%, 4%. So that means KLCI right now, based on this predictability, you're looking about pretty much what we have for 2023. So 2024 and 2023 is about the same, right? We can go up to 1,005 or even 1,600. But eventually, if the economy doesn't go any higher, it's going to come back down to the level it is, right? Today, tonight, or this evening, KLCI closes with an upthrust. You all saw that upthrust, right? Upthrust is a, I'll write it here. Upthrust is a sign of strength or sign of weakness. All right, it's a sign of weakness. That's right. So the 1470, which I've been talking about, third time breakout, pun tak boleh break. Okay, check it out on the SMARTRobie apps or on the VSA 36, which I talk about in here. So despite what you see on the 4 to 5%, that it is quite positive, but our stock market tak boleh pergi mana-mana lah. That is the issue in here. Regardless of where you have, especially in the ASEAN context, whether it is Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, we are pretty much lockwise in this environment because a lot of our economic activity are tied to China. If China don't grow, China still stagnant, like what we see due to the property that we see in the Country Garden and Evergrande. Pretty much 2024 is going to be a recovery year for China, maybe leading up to 2025. Okay, but more on that, one of the sector things I will talk about in here. Now, if you look back on the KLCI monthly return, tak short lah. This is definitely very tak short. After all, berapa tahun? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Also negative one. This is really, really bad, I can say. So you can see from here, only we have to trade on the relatively shorter months. You can see, 6 months, which we talk about. Finally, which I talk about December and November turning positive. So you can see here, because we have so much negative in the beginning of the year, I do think that January 2024 may be positive and positive. So be positive on this one because we've been going to a negative territory. Foreign funds, they are sometimes in, sometimes not. So this is really the perspective what we are seeing in here, right? Again, still back to China. Let me talk about in here. So question is just on top of me here, is there a better way to diversify out on the other market? Think about it, okay? Now, it makes no sense. Many of you already know the answer, right? Which means we are looking at the US market. So the three critical sectors to look for Malaysia for 2024 is no doubt these are only the three sectors that you want to be looking at. Construction, technology, and financial sectors. Right, they are oil and gas in here, but the perspective due to the climate change all did take a hit. Now remember, going back to June 2023, everyone talked about oil and gas and how high it went, and then finally came October, we have the conflict in the Middle East. We talk about even now the Red Sea attack in here. A lot of attention been turned into how the energy sectors or how the oil and gas can go higher. But as far as you can see oil prices started to dip back down to at least 73 US dollar, and this is also partly due to China. They didn't talk about China, right? Because last time in the past, they always say China buy a lot of oil, right? But now with a slowdown, which means they're not going to be consuming so much of the oil. So how can oil prices definitely go higher, right? So oil and gas in Malaysia will be definitely impacted. It's not going to be dead like what we saw during the COVID-19 in here. Now also going in, one of the risks, but I don't see much of the risk, is the COVID-19 lockdown, MCO, use of masks, more vaccination. I don't think those are coming for 2024, right? But then again, anything is possible, but I don't see that coming in here. All right. So relook into diversification in the US. Definitely one of the things that people will talk about when it comes to diversification is, hey, US dollar very expensive, Martin. So what are you going to do about it, right? Now, US dollar will fare much better in 2024. Now, one of the reasons why 2024 is because of the interest rate cuts, which I will talk about it in shortly in the next couple of slides in here. So ringgit, according to the economists, are expected to strengthen to 4.4 to the US dollar in here from where we are 4.7, 4.67 in here. It's not much. If you look at the chart that you see, right, the gains that we have is between, at the highest point here was 8%. That was 4.78, which is way back in mid-November. This is where they talk about inflation still very high. US want to raise more interest rate. Raise more interest rate means people want to park more money into the bank. Park more money in the bank means they will convert to the US dollar. That's why we see 4.7, which is about 8%. Now, right now, consider one of the lowest, we are somewhere between 5% only. This is minus, means we are minus 5%, minus 8%. So not much. So the returns are even better coming from the US market. Just think, wait, how much is the year-to-date return for Apple? Anybody want to guess? It's 58%. Now, one of the things you can do is when you go over the trading wheel, use this indicator year-to-date return. This will tell you a very, very good comparison where you want to look at the return, the kind of thing you do for, okay? So right now we do see 4.44, which will slightly come down in here, and then we are talking about some sort of maybe plus 2 to 4% gain in terms of the currency. Not much, but you're missing out on the big part of the picture, which is the kind of return that we see in the US market, which I'll talk about. This term that I use, Magnificent 7, Magnificent 7 in here. Now, relooking into that, remember US and ringgit, US to Malaysian ringgit, everything still tied back to China one. As long as China improves its economy, then we'll see even stronger ringgit. But if it doesn't, just hang on about 4.44, 4.44 will touch and then it will bounce back up to 4.5. Pretty much longer term is going to be the 4.5 mark. 4 is one of the best expectation in here. Now, major theme for the US market following to that, and many of you have talked about, is the US presidential election. Mark your calendar, November 5th, Tuesday. So sometimes I also don't understand that if they want more people to come out and vote, why the hell they do it on Tuesday? Do it like Malaysia Sunday morning. Then more people can go and vote. I think this is no logical sense to just shift the date, but they are adamant of it. Must be Tuesday one. The first Tuesday of the November. Every term last in 2020, let me say, 2020, it's also November 4th, which is a Tuesday. They always like this Tuesday day one. Maybe this is like Tuesday taco, the food taco. So again, very likely we'll see the nominees from the Republican will be President Biden, and you'll see the Democrat will be President Biden. It is a rematch of what we see in 2020. And of course, question mark is who is going to win? Who is going to win? Okay, what do you think? Type in the comment, let me know. And who do you think is going to win, right, in the year 2024 election? Okay, so again, for those of you, hopefully by the time you've been following me, January 2024 all the way to November, it's like watching the World Cup together. Watch it, how the market will go on and how we can make money together by following some of the simple things I talk about, the sectors, using the trade VSA, and more importantly, having a financial goal that way. All right. So 2024. Now, of course, let's look back into the history. How much has the US economy has gone? No matter who is the president, generally all summa naik one, right? Why they can do that? Because their ability to print money. Now we have Biden right now in 2020, and you can see how steep that return has gone now compared to Trump. So over and over, right? Trump or Biden fare better. What do you think? Right? Trump was in 2016 to 2020, right? Unfortunately, we also see the COVID. Biden will be 2020 to 2024, which is already there, that fast, 2024. And we have seen 2022 was the worst year for Biden, but 2020 was a good year. 2020 was not bad year. So it is still falling to traditional seasonality, which I'll share with you in the day. Usually on the third year before the presidential, the market will dip. Okay, but 2024 is looking to be a very, very good year in here. All right. Now, if you look back on the election day, the election day will be here, 100. How much the market? Now, you can see back in 2020, going into this will be November, assuming November 4th or November 5th. Okay, this will be 2024. So if you are coming in from here, the orange color is for year 2020. Whenever you see, and 2008, okay, 2008, very simple, 2008 was the global financial crisis. This was the COVID-19. So you can see we came from a low base, the market shoot straight up. Now for the global financial crisis, we came from a high base, but it did recover on the April, okay, 2008. I still remember that day. I was, in a class on technical analysis. I was still one of the analysts in there. The market started to turn, and I saw the KLSE broke to 900 in 2000, and then started to go up. So right now, what we are seeing in here, the average, which is the thick blue line, will tell you usually after the election day, you still have another rally. But the market may dip back a bit lower and start to go up. So this will tells you that likelihood the market will go higher in 2024, dip a bit lower, but after the election, going to 2025, will still be bull run. That's right, will still be bull run, right? Great, Nora saying maybe got scandal. Yeah, we don't know about that, right? Thank you, Nora. Thank you for your support. So those are things that we are looking for. Keep in mind, you can always come back and watch this video in here to refresh you. But of course, you can always follow me every Wednesday on our live Facebook. Now, like it or not, the US stock market favor the next Democrat president in here. You can see in terms of performance by the party of the president, right? By the Dow Jones, you can see having $100, it means you have it every 4 years. You can see you actually more than double your money if it's a Democrat. So right now we have Biden, continue to invest in the market. If 2024 we get another Biden, a Democrat, then we will see the stock market really, really nice. So this is the theme or the setting of the background, and at least let me come and inform you in here. So here you can see in terms of gain by the S&P 500, in the longer the Democrat is almost no match, 1,894 from the political that works versus 166% in here. So for the benefit of the stock market US context, we want here a Democrat president, and if that's the case, the nominees is President Biden, then we will hope for President Biden to make. But then you don't know. We have a black cat in the alley. Could be Trump, right? If Trump come, wow, very messy. So if you look from here, GDP under the blue is Democrat. Blue is Democrat. Pakatan PKR. Okay. Red is UMNO, but now UMNO also it's the same team it's green, hijau. For Malaysia, it's hijau. So you can see jobs have been created more, medium income up 1%. Unemployment, they actually reduces in here. Debt to GDP also improve in here. So overall, that tells you a Democrat president outperformed Republican by every economic measure in here. This is the more important year. The election year. After the election year is always a good year that they run up in here. The blue one is the average, and then this one here is the so-called the nominee one. So you can see after year one, which is this will be 2024, 2025, 2026. Now remember, same 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Right? You see the pattern now. 2020 we had a good year. 2020 was COVID no doubt, people no job, but stock market went up. Year 2021, okay, going back to 2021, market still went up, okay. But year 2022, we have the Russian-Ukraine war in February, right? That was the one that caused it, and then the market actually dipped lower. So the third year, and then 2020 this year, up 40%, 47% for the Nasdaq, 26% for the S&P 500, and coming to 10% for the Dow Jones year to date. Haven't ended yet, still another 10 more days, right? So it is fairly predictable seasonality in a year, and that's why based on this, I tell my friends, right, my Trade VSA member, and also you, the following public, to really put your attention into the US market. It's fairly predictable looking on this in here, all right? Then those who see crisis now will see an opportunity, right? Now, of course, I'm going to talk about the Magnificent Seven, all right? The Magnificent Seven so far in year 2023 in here, these are the big cap stocks. If you don't have any of these stocks in your portfolio, generally your portfolio wouldn't do that well. That includes Microsoft, which I've talked about since September, Apple, right? Meta, which I don't talk a lot about, Alphabet, Amazon, Nvidia, and Tesla. So Nvidia and Tesla is something I always talk again and again. Now, if we look back into this, the 2023, like it or not, is biased towards this Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven here, right? If you take out the Magnificent Seven, you can see S&P 500 didn't perform at all. Yes, this is up to May, right? So the Magnificent Seven is the one that really drives this market up in here. So that's why we tell the people, it's also very important that you understand the macroeconomic, like what I've shared with you here. The statistical, the seasonality. So with that, you come into the market. Okay, you come to the market knowing the facts. Now this is important because I have said before in year 2022, very, very early, every down year, subsequent year will be a good year. Coincide with also the presidential year. So we know that year 2020, the market was down 22%. The market come back. You can see Tesla down 65%, 50%, 28%, 26%, 50%, 39%. But this thing has gone up by 100% up to, this is only up to May. Okay, so now even more. Meta about 98% in here. So how do you handle the emotional mental psychology of a big losses? How do you do that? When you see minus 6%, right? There is a method, and let me share with you that later. All right. So how do you allocate for year 2024? By sectors. Okay. Let's take a look at all the sectors. Now, recently survey done by the BlackRock Investment Group. Okay. They talk about the portfolio exposure by the hedge fund managers. Many people will already check up robotics and AI. Second, semiconductor, biotech. So this one is encompass the technology sector, which is actually the Magnificent Seven. So I call it M7 lah. M7. So when I talk about it, M7 in here. So you must have some of those in here. If not, please go and get it, which I've always been telling all my members in here. But at the same time, be careful of the smart money operator. So that's why it's important for you to be able to use some sort of tools like a VSA, or able to read where is the distribution, where is the accumulation in here. Just like Gamunda, when the good news came out, it distributed, and some people, bought it there, the prices went up higher in here. So smart money is always lurking in the market in here. All right. So why AI sectors in 2024? Why AI becomes so important? Because people want to save money, right? Now, you know that one of the story that I came across in China, where a lot of the so-called food delivery people, all right, because China is going through some economic slowdown, so a lot of fresh graduate, the youth unemployment is very high. So what they did was they have to resort to some sort of temporary gig economy like our Grab driver, our Food Panda driver. They also have it in China also. But guess now, because they're using AI to cut costs, meaning they're replacing many of the Grab food driver in China with what we call autonomous delivery vehicle, the little small food truck that can drive like the one you have like a radar on top one. You check it out on YouTube, you can see it. So a lot of these has been replaced because they want to save money, and that's what using AI is, right? I've talked to a few of the fund managers. Going forward, they do see many of the jobs will be replacing by AI or robots, and like it or not, I mean, this is the truth. So at least we know about this in time, do something about it, and we side with the AI investment. At least you make money from that. All right. So cost It's definitely one of the savings that you want to do in here. Now, however, I have here from the Barron's non-AI and tech sector. Let's take a look at this. Alibaba, okay, which is e-commerce in here. Pay a 1.4%. Again, check out the Pentagon guided chart whether it will do well or not. This stock has been beaten down very, very badly. So e-commerce have recovered in China. It will do well. Google is an AI stock. Gold is definitely another stocks. With the lowering on the interest rate, gold will definitely do well. Berkshire Hathaway is a finance stocks recovery play. Biotech, okay, biotech, COVID-19, okay. Oil and gas, maybe not, okay, but oil and gas been beaten down a lot. Hearst Global Holding, this is a car rental company. Madison Square is a gaming. And then you got Pepsi Cola and U-Haul. Now, Pepsi Cola suffered the same fate as Coca-Cola because of the trend of sugar, too much sugar in the drinks, right? We all know about that, and that has shunned away a lot of the sales. Pretty much what we've seen in Starbucks with the Middle East conflict ban. They want to ban the Starbucks, and Starbucks has fallen almost 13% since they initiated that. So these are stocks that are undervalued and something right for 2024. Keep in mind, these are the stock you don't have to put everything on all the AI or technology stock. Some of these are old traditional stocks. Yeah, and this has been provided by Barron's, which I've been following them for some time. They're pretty accurate so far in year 2023. Now, the year of dragon, right? Year of dragon, the Chinese dragon zodiac, important year. Now, how do you think it will fare, right, in the stock market? Now, by comparison in the US market in here, let me just share with you this one, right? So you can see you have many returns of the different types of zodiac sign in here. Definitely, you can see snake is the bottom, tiger, so very good. You got goat 10%, respectable, but where is dragon? Okay, now you can see dragon is a second best performer after the little ball, piglet, we got dragon, 13% return. So for this from 1900 to 2023, very long statistic right? So everything also stretches today. But that basically tell you need to be bullish in 2024 because year of dragon, the dragon will reign again, right? Just like we saw in 2012, right? 2012 was the year of the dragon in here, but not the China dragon. China dragon 2024, they are still limping because of the economic slowdown. And later on, we're going to talk about the issue of Taiwan and China conflict. Now, like it or not, many of the Wednesday live Facebook, I always give prediction out on. Look at those things that I talked about in the past. Like I did one in February where I already talked about the US AI stock, and if you hear them, you have done much better. Now going forward, for the year 2024, I have talked about this again from now. VSA 360, one of the seasonality tool. For every year that is a negative return, we do know, right? This is year 2022. We have the S&P 500. This is the S&P 500 ETF. Okay, ETF. For the year that is down, you're going to have two positive years. So 2024 is a positive year. So that's why I've been telling people you need to start having a basic understanding of how to diversify out there. And don't forget, we also have our partnership that we are doing with USmart. I hope that you have opened up account with USmart where they give very good brokerage and you're able to diversify out from there and able to get some of these stocks that we talk about in here. So 2 years, right? Of positive return after 1 year of negative return. Now also, remember the stock market got a big boost, right, which I've talked about because of the AI continued power to the end of the year in here, and I do think AI will have done it. Now all this started when US Federal Reserve, FOMC, decided to hold interest rate, and then last week they went in and said about cutting rate because the US economy is strong now than ever. Don't listen to those people who talk about recession in here. Now the driving factor has always been the inflation. You can see the inflation really coming down, and I do think December, which is for the month of December already came out, so we have to wait for the January one, will point to a lower inflation rate where the earliest cut will be in May. Now let me just read this again in here. So you can see interest rate cut in 2024 where it is going to be cut. You can see in January, right? Let me just Yeah, in January, they will still retain the 5.25, which means currently still 5.25. March, right? They are likely to do it in March. 2/3 of people thinking, but on May, there's almost 70% of the people think the rate is going to cut down. This is a 25 basis point cut, another 25 basis point cut, 70%, and then another 25 basis point cut in June, because these are all the meeting of the US FOMC. All right, unlikely to cut in January, but they may cut in March when they first met up with that. So that's the timeline that we're going, and that's where you will see, right? February might dip back up, but definitely March and May will be right. So remember, in May is always sell in May and go away, but we may not see that this year. We will see a continued rush and pushing of the market going higher. So this is important. Rewatch this video again in the distant future. All right. Now again, this is something to re-emphasize what I've said. Every year that is a down year, you follow by 2 years strong, one down year, 2 years at least. This is a Nasdaq return. Last year was minus 22%, and this year we are about 48%. How many of you missed this? I hope you all didn't miss this, right? Because I've been saying it again, time and time again, for many months in the first quarter already for 2023, and I'll say it again in here. Don't waste that opportunity, right? 48, I think about 48% return. And if you look at S&P 500, it was down about 18%, and you can see almost a 5 to 7 years continued return for the US market, right? Because why? Stay on, and I'm going to share with you why. The reason is why they continue to do so well. This is the reason. The EPS, the earnings, right? Now remember, I talk about that AI is one of the main reasons they drive is to replace human, because humans generally what cost the most one in here. And they did talk about it. If you replace by a robot, payback period within 6 or 7 years. Then after that is FOC. You only need to replace it with maybe oil and change your RAM card and powered by electricity. Electricity is almost free. You can use a solar power in here. So it is a very interesting world going forward. So you can see here, definitely when they talk about cost saving, when they reduce the cost, earning goes up. That's why you notice for the last 20 years, the trend is still going up, because they're using technology to improve what we call productivity. Yeah, productivity, right? And of course, this was the global financial crisis that we saw, right? And then you have this one was the COVID-19, right? That's where the dip in the earnings in here. Now a bit of nothing happening in 2024. We don't have an asteroid hitting Earth, and we don't have China invading Taiwan. I do think this market is going to go up. So we still need to focus on China, right? Now a lot of people did ask me, Martin, what do you think of the China and conflict 2024? We all know the current problem or issue faced by China, which is also slight unpopularity with President Xi. He is very negative, and he removed a lot of the rocket commando, right? And we also have here President Swen. I think this is the lady which run the party, and because she already expired her 2 terms being a president in here, she is a pro-US, anti-China. This is the thing. So China again want to force to unification, just like in what we saw in Hong Kong, right? We have seen Hong Kong, the glory days already finito. Now it's treated just like what I said, another city like Shenzhen, another city like the big city Dalian, and so on and so forth, right? So Hong Kong has been diluted. 50 years unchanged, not even that. Maybe after 20-30 years coming. So they're going to unify Taiwan, and that's why one of the biggest threat right now is the China-Taiwan conflict. But I do bet 2024, unlikely again we see it. One of the reasons why you can see the slowdown in the Chinese economy become weaker, and over the years, the last 6 or 7 years, many of the resources President Xi has used to bolster the Chinese military, all because of his great goal to unify before he leave the earth, to unify Taiwan in here. But the Taiwan is again another renegade state, don't want to be unified. We do our own way, Taiwan. So year 2024, not easy for them, because they have a weaker economy, they have the slower birth rate in here, and they're being very, very paranoid. But that did not stop, right, the intrusion of the Taiwan airspace by the Chinese warship. You can see, average China warship near Taiwan is almost 380. So what are they doing? They are doing the scare tactics of a bully. Always notice bully. If you remember when you were a child, they're bully always, but when you face it, ask him to fight, you see they'll run away. And I do think China, in a way, because of the weaker position that they're in right now with their economy and also the so-called property sector that have failed, invading Taiwan may not be. And also don't forget, the China military, their experience in fighting hasn't been proven yet. They have a lot of good military ships, they have a lot of good so-called aeroplanes in here, they copy here, they do it here, but they are still not proven in the war arena, wartime, like some of the Americans, the Russians, the Ukraine, which they have wartime. Now let's look at the Taiwan candidate. This is happening on January. Now in January 24, okay, where's my pen? January 24, 2024 will be the China Taiwan election. So you have this person, William Lai from the DPP, they call it the Democratic Progressive Party. Then you have the Kuomintang, right? Hu Yuin and Ko Wen-jian. And there's another candidate, Jerry Fox, Jerry from the Foxconn guy, okay? So this one is pro-China, okay? This one is anti-China, okay? This fella is still hidden. He didn't show his cards. So of course the Chinese are but more likely to be pro-China, okay? So of course, if this one of these two candidates win, then you will probably have a good stock market. Having said that, because the guy that they're going to be worrying out is William Lai, because if William Lai becomes the president of Taiwan in after January 24th, 2024. So keep in mind January 24th, which is just before Chinese New Year. This one very exciting, man, because this will determine how soon the China and Taiwan conflict is. If William Lai from the DPP wins, that means there will still be on this Taiwan-China crisis. Now, if the Kuomintang and the Taiwanese People Party win, watch out for this stock, TSM. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, even Warren Buffett, who bought this share, he also got chickened out because of the China and Taiwan conflict. He decided to cash out, tak boleh tahan anymore. And also that's why you can see all the manufacturing company, we all know TSMC produced the 3 microns, the 5 microns that power many of the high-end chips in here. So right now you can see who is leading. As of the poll in here, William Lai from DPP is leading. He is the second man to the President Sui, currently that we are seeing the lady president in here. So that means all things being in equal, but the party may just go for TPP, Ku Wen-jian, which is a hidden agenda, but he is still a pro-China. So that's a quick synopsis on the Taiwan election come January 24, 2024. So you know who to look out for and where likely the crisis is or not going to be. So as a summary, we get to the end of it in here. The Middle East crisis, if you get another Red Sea attack, the Houthi with the drone attack, and the China, it's going to add a lot in the volatility. But bear in mind, market will still continue to go up because of the AI and the semiconductors improve in the productivity and cost saving, which I talk about. Remember, Fed cut will come as early as April or May. Remember the timeline, March, May, they will cut 25 basis point in here. More importantly is how are you going to strategize all this information they're giving to you? What is your plan in here? Right? It's important that you stick your plan, and that's why I recommend for those of you who are not member yet to join our VSA premium membership here, to be at least guided by some of our trainings and some of our video tutorial in here to put you in the right spot where you can see our members, both the Malaysian market and the US market, doing so well in here. At least have some sort of direction going forward. Okay, so with that, you can also follow me on the SMARTRobie every Monday. It's just that this coming Monday and the following Monday, I'll be away because of the festive season. And take note, on Friday, the live the live breakfast show has also been rescheduled to next year, as you know, we want to take some time off. My staff also want to take some time off from all the video editing. So take note, there won't be any live Facebook on Friday. This will probably be the last one for the December 2023, and probably see you in 2024. Now, of course, if you have not opened up an account, you're new to USmart, join the partnership of USmart in here. Great service that we have, and good service from USmart. Use the code NYVJPA when you do the opening up the account, and you'll get 400 credits so far in here. All right, don't forget, support us. All you have to do is, you know, get a SMARTRobie bag, and it's very nice. It's RFID bag, will help you to save the environment in here for only 15.90 cents in here, and share it with your friend. Buy one for your spouse or your children in here. It's a good bag that you can always take to the shops and in here. All you gotta do is order through your handphone on the marketplace. Really appreciate it all in here. And of course, if you are our premium members, you get it for free. Make sure you fill up the Google form sent to you by WhatsApp, which we did in the 24th of November. So make sure you fill that up. This is a free bag you'll be getting in. And of course, our free chat room continued to dish out good educational material in here. And of course, tonight I didn't give you any shares, but I just want to give you the overall perspective of 2024. So whoever you listen to, the analyst, the influencer, the YouTuber, what they talk about stock market 2024, especially those very, very bearish one, keep in mind those points I've talked about tonight. So that's all I have for the year 2023. It's been a great year. I do hope some of my advice, some of my information sharing here have brought you to a newer level, both as a better investor, as a trader with better performance. If not, there's still a lot of room for improvement. Follow our Trade VSA methodology, use a SMARTRobie, or even becoming a premium members. So that's all I have. Thank you again for coming tonight, and I wish you the best. Happy holiday. I'll see you in 2024. So take note, but you can always catch me on the video tutorial, right, in the YouTube and also Facebook. Good night.